Loud.com exclusive.
So let's talk about that shirt for just a little bit. Obviously, you're supporting Barack Obama. What do you think about this the kind of like response that the media has given to the hip hop um, support for him?
Um,
Think it's been fair or
well, the response that the media gives to hip hop for the past 20 years hasn't been fair because all they look at is the little incidents that might be negative and then they magnify it and then they call that all hip hop. There's
mm-hmm.
things that happen. You go to a rock concert, the same type of things happen. You go to the white neighborhoods, the same type of things happen. You go to the black neighborhoods, the same type of things are happening. It's things that are happening. And if you're attaching it to a culture or a kind of music, then they're going to look at that in a negative fashion. They look at hip hop as a negative fashion right out the gate. It's only a few of them that they pick out and go, okay, they're okay. And then they don't look at them like they're rap or hip hop anymore. They look at them like they're artists.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start to separate artists from what they actually are, and then you look at the culture and go, well, we all like Barack. We like Barack because we really don't want to deal with Bush anymore. Okay, so with that said, I mean, we're going to get looked at in any situation. Our hip hop generation is going to get looked at in any situation with a negative eye until something serious happens, like Barack gets
Mm-hmm.
elected. So when this goes down, you'll understand that we're not all that negative and we're not stupid and we really are about something and the future actually does belong to the youth.
Right.
So with that alone, you see what happens.
Right. Well, now you mentioned obviously Bush's influence over kind of everything that's taken place over the last 8 years. Um, could you draw similarities between hip hop and kind of this how the situation, not how it developed in Iraq, but like the things that are going on over there, where the media. I mean, because I personally have friends over there. I have friends that are flying helicopters. I have friends that have been killed. I have an attachment to the Middle East right now. So, you know, there's good things that are going on over there that the media just doesn't cover. Is it because the media plays to, somebody's kind of desires to want to see like the negative and this and that? Is that why they cover
Well,
something like Iraq, something like hip hop,
if you
like in that way?
if you watch the news every day, when there's good things happening, the newscast is this short. 95% of the news is things that are bad or things that are negative. They're not going, oh my God, 50,000 kids just graduated from high school. They're going, 5,000 kids didn't graduate from high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of looking at the positive end. So if you keep generating um, a negative image, then people are actually going to believe that that's what they are, or they fit into that negative profile. So that's just what we're going to be because you keep telling us that's what we are. We're in a bad state. So when the president's over in Iraq or got the United States over in Iraq fighting a war for absolutely no reason, considering he found absolutely nothing. When did when is it okay for us to go? This is about to be ridiculous. It actually we're ridiculous because we should be looking for uh, Osama bin Laden, who's been laughing, like you guys are over in Iraq and I'm over here. Why don't you come get me? But he's probably homies with him. So what you gonna do?
Word up. All right. Well, so talk to me, just a little bit about kind of where you're at just in your career right now and the kind of different avenues that have opened up for you because of hip hop. Because obviously, you're kind of like a you're a figure. You're in hip hop. I mean, you've been there for a long time. You've done a lot of great things. And you're one of those examples that the media, probably doesn't cover and doesn't give the attention that is deserved to. So from that, like talk a little bit about the different things you've been able to do because of, just because of the good things that you've done with hip hop and the different lanes you can explore right now.
Well, hip hop from the beginning gave me the ability to take care of myself and take care of my family without having to go run around killing and shooting and or being a lawyer, or being a teacher, or being a fireman. I knock on wood, I get to do something that I love to do, and it feeds my family. So thank God for hip hop for that. But there's things in hip hop, and there's things that we did coming up as urban kids or kids in the street that transcended into other things. Like when I was young, we always wanted to be the best dressed, the freshest kids in the street. We wanted to have the brand newest sneakers, the newest gear, the newest everything. And that never really goes away from you if you were into it for real. And once you figured out how to get money to do those things, you just kept on wanting to be that way. Thank God I had this career that I have, and it afforded me the ability to buy a bunch of sneakers and buy all the fresh gear that I wanted, and I amassed a bunch of sneakers. And when you got friends that are into sneakers too, when you get into conversations, the talk gets around about what you do, what you don't have, and then if friendly little competitions start, and those competitions become bigger and bigger, and the talk becomes bigger. So like with the sneaker thing, everybody knows I got this whole bunch of Air Force Ones in my crib, and then Nike found out, and we started to have conversations about things we could do together because it was the 25th anniversary for Air Force Ones coming. We got into conversations. I became a consultant. It flourished into something else because they didn't realize that, yeah, I had this passion for Air Force Ones, but like I have a passion for being creative. So it wasn't like, oh, here's Air Force Ones and I'm just going to look at them. It was those Air Force Ones, they should look like this.
Right.
And these Dunks should look like that. And those Air Max 1s should look like that. And then they realized I wasn't just into Air Force Ones. I was into sneakers. And then, like I said, the relationship is building. I design shoes with Nike. I help with apparel over at Nike. I'm a brand consultant to Nike. I'm the brand consultant they call / coach. And that's been cool. The word tastemaker has been thrown around. I really don't know what a tastemaker is because I believe everybody has their own taste, whether it be good or bad. Some might hate the things that I say. Some might love the things that I say. But I speak from the heart all the time, and sometimes it affects the outcome of things, and sometimes it doesn't. But regardless, I go home and I'm able to sleep because I keep it real about everything all the time. So, it is what it is. I'm lucky that I get to do things that I like to do, but I make sure I put myself in those positions on purpose.
Right. Well, so if you weren't DJing, kind of going back to, you just as a youth and everything like that, you were doing things to get money and this and that. You mentioned firefighting, whatever. So if you weren't DJing, if there wasn't any hip hop, like what would you be doing right now?
I would want to do an honorable job, like be a teacher or a fireman.
Yeah. Because
teachers give the youth their future or the ability to have a future, and firemen do what they do. They run inside of burning buildings to try to save people's lives. A lot of people look at cops and go, "That's a real serious job," but a cop actually gets a gun. You know what I'm saying? He can protect himself. You know what I'm saying? He gets a gun. He can shoot you. But a fireman doesn't get nothing to run in them buildings with but a bunch of water and a bunch of fire retardant stuff, and they got to save lives, and a teacher has to help build lives. So to me, those are the most important jobs that anybody could possibly do. So the respect that we should have for teachers should be growing exponentially every day if you really think about it. We can only teach our kids up until the point where they get to school, and then someone else's hands get to teach them. And all we can do is amplify their teaching or help their teaching, but we already put our kids in someone else's hands to learn. So we have to respect teachers, and we definitely have to respect firemen, and that's the type of things that I would have wanted to do, something respectful. It's funny because back in the days I probably wouldn't have thought of that, but looking back, I'm like, I wish if I would have done anything else, that those were one of the two things I would have done.